Hello, so if you're new to my channel, my name is Hannah and I run a small art business called BearBeretStudio. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my handmade clay keychains, and the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I actually for a while thought that making these was going to be really expensive and I would have to invest in a bunch of polymer clay and UV resin and all of these materials that I didn't really have access to at the time, but I actually found that there's much cheaper ways to achieve a pretty similar effect. So if you're someone who's interested in making handmade charms and pins, then this is definitely the video for you. So with all that being said, let's get started. So to start out, you're going to take your air dry clay and roll it out so that it's about 1/2 centimeter thick. You want to make sure that it's nice and even all the way through so that when you use your cookie cutters, you'll get a nice even shape. Once you have your shape cut out, you want to then take your clay and just smooth it around the edges. So I have this little clay tool that I use, but you can also use your fingers for this, and just make sure that all the edges are smooth. Next, you're going to take your eye pins and you're basically going to insert these through the clay so that the top of the eye pin is showing through the top of your clay charm. Just repeat this step for any other charms that you have, and it should look something like this. Once all of your charms are done, you basically want to let them dry for 24 hours, so you can lay them out flat like this, but I would actually recommend leaving them on a drying rack so that both sides of your clay charms can dry evenly at the same time, and this will prevent cracking. Once your charms are dry, you want to take your acrylic paint pens and start painting your charms. This is the part where you get to be creative and have a little bit of fun. So I'm doing a little moon bear design for this one, which you'll see here, but pretty much anything can go with these designs. I actually also use this shape to make little frogs, so the ears of the bear is actually the eyes of the frog. So you can reuse these shapes to make pretty much anything that you want, which is really fun. Once the paint is dry, you want to take your Sculpey glaze and basically just spread it onto your charm like so. Let this dry for usually 24 to 48 hours depending on how much glaze you want to put on your charms. Once the glaze is dry, you want to take your wire cutters and cut off the excess from the eye pins like so. You'll then need to use your thin pliers to curl the wire around like this so that you have 2 eyes on either side of the charm. Repeat this step for any other charms that you have so that everything has these 2 little loops on either end. To add some accessories, you're going to need to take your ball head or jewellery pins, and you can use these to thread some beads. So I'm using a pearl bead and some stars here to create a little accent for the keychain. You'll also want to make sure that for these you add a loop on one of the ends so that you can attach it to the rest of your charm. So you'll want to repeat this step for anything that you want to attach to your keychain, and just use your thin nose pliers to curl the wire around anything that you want to be attached. Once you're happy with the design, you're going to want to get your keychain clasps and attach these to the top of your keychain. So just take some of those sturdy jump rings and loop them on through like so. And then attach your charm using 2 of your pliers and pushing the jump ring together like this. So to bake your pins, you'll need some butterfly clasps and some jewellery glue. All you need to do is apply a small amount of jewellery glue to the back of your pin and then press down firmly with the pin post. Once this is dry, you can then apply your butterfly clasp. For all of my packaging, I use the free version of Canva, and all you need to do is set up a file that is the size that you want your backing card to be. So I think mine is around 45 by 65 millimeters. I kept the design for this pretty simple because I kind of want the keychains to speak for themselves, so I just went for a plain pink background with this slightly darker pink grid, and I think it turned out pretty cute. Once you're happy with your design, just put your card onto an A4 sheet of paper. I've duplicated it here a couple of times, and then you should be good to print. Once you've printed out your design, you can either use a paper trimmer or a pair of scissors just to cut out all of your backing cards. This bit is optional, but if you want your corners to be rounded, you can actually use a little paper rounder like this one, and it gives it a little bit more of like a finished, clean sort of look, so I usually do that to most of my backing cards. You'll need something that you can then poke holes through your card with, so I actually use washi tape and this little clay tool that I have. Please don't stab yourself. You'll then want to get some fishing line and basically thread this through the holes in your backing card so that you can attach your keychain. Once you've threaded it through, you'll then just tie a little knot in the back, and that should mean that your keychain is now secure. So this brings me to the end of the video. I hope that you found this helpful and inspiring, and if you do end up making any keychains or pins using these techniques, please let me know, tag me on Instagram or send me a message, because I would really love to see what you make. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do when I have time. It is definitely a more time consuming process than some of the other things that I make in my shop, but I always find it the most therapeutic, and I often like to come back to it when I have the time. So I would love to see what you create. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!